Hello, I am back. Linda Hodge is here. And we've been talking about friendships, and that's a huge discussion, and there's so many parts and so many avenues to it. And I was thinking about Jesus, and I know Jesus, he had a crowd of people around him, but then he also had 12 people, which was his disciples, that he pulled a little closer. But then he also had three that he was very close to. And so that was Peter, John, and Paul, and so they was close to him. So he shared intimate things with him. And I kind of thought about, I said, that is so true, because when you think about our own individual lives, we have acquaintances, we have people that's a little bit closer, and then we have these intimate relationships as well. And that's what Jesus had with the three disciples that he chose. And I was kind of just thinking about it. I said, well, why did he choose these three out of all the people, out of all the disciples that he had? Why did he choose these three? And what I thought about, I said there must was some form of element of trust that he had with these three men that he didn't have with the other disciples. And so that's a really good example and a good nugget when we are choosing friends and relationships as well, is that when we choose these intimate acquaintances, that it must be something about them that kind of stand out from the pack. They must bring something totally different to the table. And so I was just kind of looking at it, and I was thinking about the different friends that we have. So we have the acquaintances, and these people we know casually. They may be classmates, they may be co-workers, neighbors. You're friendly, but you're just really not totally connected. These are the neighbors that you see once a week, or every other day. And you just kind of casually have a little quick conversation, and that's it. You kind of exchange little small talk. You have small conversations about the weather, the news, what's going on in the politics. And so those are the type of relationships that you have. And so you just really what? Just exchange greetings. You may even possibly even work with these people as well. And then I thought about the other one is the casual friends. And these are people that you possibly spend a little bit more time with, because when you think about it, these are probably the people that you share common interests or activities. These are people that you consider that may get you, that understand you, that kind of like the way you move in life, and you guys kind of move in similar ways. You may kind of think alike in many avenues. You may kind of like the same TV shows, and so you have conversations where you're talking about various things, a little bit deeper things. And so these are your casual friends. You know personal things about them, possibly. It may not be deep, but you do know some personal things about them. And it's kind of warm, and it's kind of high, kind of lighthearted. It's not really deep. They're not going to really know your intimate feelings. They're not really going to know your pain. They're not going to know maybe previous relationships that you had. They're not going to know any of all that. And sometimes we call that's the good stuff. So they may not know any of the good stuff about you. And so everything is on a casual basis. And then there is close friends. And this is really where emotional connection begins. You trust them with your feelings, with your secrets. They stand by you in difficult times and hard times. They're loyal to you. They're honest with you. They kind of tell you how they feel, regardless of how you may take it or not. They are not intimidated by you. They're not afraid of you, how you're going to feel. They're going to just kind of put it out there. Why? Because you have history with them. And so when you have history with a person, as far as being intimate, you can rely on them to the extent that you know that no matter what you say, they're going to be cool with it. They're not going to be real judgmental. They're not going to look at you, like you're crazy. They are just going to accept you for who you are. But then there is those intimate covenant friendships. And these are very few. and they're very precious because they really know your soul. And so their neutral sacrifice, spiritual support, and unconditional love that you share with each other. You can be vulnerable. You can express your fears. And so these friendships are rare, but they are usually lifelong. I mean, these are friendships. I mean, they are there. You can count on them. They're not going to change their mind about how you feel because they know all about your dirt. They know who you are. They're cool with it, and they accept the way you are. And so I was just thinking about, I think many times we don't really categorize our friendships the way we really should. And so I just want to talk to a little bit today and just kind of just get you to thinking on, is this a casual relationship that I have? Is this an intimate relationship that I have with you? Is this a close friendship that I have with you? And I think that's so important because I think sometimes what we do, we just kind of throw our friendship into one pot and we don't know exactly how much to share with a person. I mean, have you ever kind of like been around a person and you really didn't know them, but I mean, they just kind of told you all their dirt? I mean, it's kind of like you knew about their mama, you knew about their boyfriends, you knew about, their horrible, relationship that they could have possibly had in the past. And it's like you just met them and they were just kind of like information overload. And you just kind of look at them like, why are you telling me all this? Because I don't know you. And besides, I really don't care to know all about all this stuff about you. But sometimes people, they don't set boundaries and they meet people and they just feel that they can just kind of, you know, just share everything, their whole life. And it's like, by the time they leave, you know everything about them. You know all about their mama, their daddy, all their siblings. I mean, it's like there's nothing left that they did not tell you. I mean, they covered it all. And so I think it's so important that we recognize what type of friendship we have and that we act accordingly to it. And then also, there's other ways to categorize friendships. Um, it could be childhood friends, which share your earliest memories. There's school or work friends that grow through shared goals. There are spiritual friends that strengthen your faith and your character. And then there's mentor or mentee friendship, and they guide and they inspire you to grow. And then there are seasonal friends, and they are part of your journey for a time, but they're only there for a certain season. And I think sometimes what we do in those type of friendships and relationships, sometimes we may get hurt because that person is gone. They was there and now they're gone. And many times they are just there for a season. And so you have to be able to discern that, and you have to ask the Lord, why is this person in my life? Are they here for season? Are they here for a lifelong time in my life? Why are they here? And I think if we know that, we're better to actually just kind of know how do we maneuver around the relationship if we know why a person is there. So I want you to take time next couple of days and really just kind of think about your friendships, think about what they add to you, think about why are they in your life? Because I think that anything that we do in life, there should be a purpose for it. I don't think we should just kind of half-heartedly do life without having some type of knowledge or information or being intentional. And I think many times we live life so unintentional. It's just kind of like where whoever comes, they come, whoever goes, they go, and it's not intentional. So I think especially with friendships and acquaintances and just casual friendships or close relationships, intimate relationships, you need to know that. You need to know that because I think you need to be clear in your head, because I think sometimes we expect people to give more than what they are able to give or more than what they want to give. So we have all these expectations for people to give us what they are not willing to give us. They don't have it in them. They are bankrupt in that particular area and they don't have it to give. And you got to be okay with that. But the only way that you can recognize that is that you got to go into a relationship being very intentional and determining exactly what can they offer you and what they cannot offer you, and be satisfied with that. So that's it for today. I'll see you next time. You guys have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.